There is a poem of Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah with which I would like to commence, and I find it so relevant in my visit to Malaysia. He said, تغرب عن الأوطان في طلب العلا وسافر ففي الأسفار خمس فوائد تفرج هم واكتساب معيشة وعلم وآداب وصحبة ماجد. That sometimes you need to leave your native land and journey beyond, and by traveling you will enjoy many benefits, 5 of which he encapsulates in these poems of his. تفرج هم, it takes you out of sometimes a sense of restriction, a sense of depression. You just feel relaxed and open up, and surely coming to this beautiful land, not that I was depressed, but I feel enlightened. And furthermore, he says, وَعِلْمٌ وَآدَابٌ وَصَحْبَةُ مَجِدِ. You will learn knowledge, you will interact with scholars, and you will learn a lot of character. And I promise, I think I have learned more than I can convey. The message I want to share with you is one of the profound teachings of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I read this recently, the write-up on this, and I find it so amazing. And we know our Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam was Jawami'ul Kalim. Allah had blessed him with comprehensive speech. And he sallallahu alaihi wasallam once said, Al-mu'minu mir'atul mu'min. A believer is a mirror to another believer. A believer is a mirror. We look into a mirror, we say so many things, probably in the shower in the mirror people hymn the most or speak the most. But the scholars of hadith have deduced so many things, and I hope I can just run through it very quickly. إِنَّ الْمُؤْمِنْ يُرِي أَخَاهُ عُيُوبَهُ التي لا يمكنه أن يراها من نفسه كما أن كثيرا من أعضاء البدن وعيوب الجسد لا يمكن رؤيتها إلا بالمرآة فهكذا أخوك المؤمن يعلمك إذا جهلت ويذكرك إذا نسيت ويصوبك إذا أخطأت وينبهك إذا أخطأت. That when you look into a mirror, you would realize a mirror would reveal many organs of your body which you cannot see otherwise. If you want to see your nape, you want to see your face, you want to see a scar, you want to see pigmentation, you want to see something on your back, you need the aid and the medium of a mirror. In the very same way, the believers amongst themselves, they complement one another, they express to each other their faults, thereby modestly encouraging them, cajoling them, motivating them. That's the first analogy. I'm just going through it very briefly. The second thing that the scholars, min asrari hadha at-tashbih al-baligh, from the wisdoms of this amazing analogy of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, al-mir'atu sadiqatun fima tu'akkisuhu min hay'atih. A mirror is honest. If you have a scar on one cheek, it's not going to show you a scar on the other cheek. And if you have beautiful features and you are bald, not that it's bad, it's going to reflect your beautiful features and at the same time express the fact that there's no hair. If you are tall, it's going to show you to be lanky. Whatever is the truth. You know, I once landed in Dubai and I was tired of a long flight, and this guy was walking by and he had this t-shirt. He was quite obese and he had, I'm not fat, I'm just fluffy. And I said it was lovely. Sometimes you just need a bit of humor. But anyway, the mirror is accurate. هكذا أخوك المؤمن يريك حسناتك ويشكرك عليها ويريك سيئاتك وينبهك إليها. A believer to a believer is the same like a mirror. When he sees something good, he compliments him. And may I also add to Imam Afroz's words and concur with the great work, all the scholars, but the tabahur and the umuq in the presentation of Shaykh Hamza, may Allah preserve him and everyone, that we appreciate. A presentation could be half an hour or an hour, but trust me, it takes an hour to deliver that half an hour. It takes a lot to give it. And like I always say, some people gargle at the fountain of knowledge and others drink the water. And probably many of us just gargle, but some of us drink. And when we drink, then obviously we can exhibit those volumes of knowledge. May Allah make us true students of knowledge. So a believer is one, he's like a mirror. When he sees the good, he says, wow, that's amazing, you're brilliant, you're great. And when he sees the wrong, he equally reflects this and he mentions this to you. Number 3, al-mir'atu تنصحك بصمت هكذا أخوك المؤمن ينصحك ولا يفضحك. A mirror advises you silently. So when you're standing there, if there's any defect or any blemish, The mirror is not screaming out, hey, this guy, come look here, come see this guy. He hasn't got teeth, he needs to go for orthodontics. Or probably, you know what, he's got a scar. No, the mirror is silent to scream. And that's the nature of a believer. And Imam Shafi'i said in another poem of his, تغمدني بنصحك في انفرادي وجنبني النصيحة في الجماعة فإن النصح بين الناس نوع من التوبيخ لا أرضى استماعا. That my brother, if you see a folly in me, take me on the side and talk me and I will listen to you whole day. But if you're going to chastise me in public, I won't even listen to one word of yours. So the third thing we learn from the mirror is the mirror communicates to you. You're looking at yourself, you're dressing up, you're adorning yourself, but it's silent. And a believer needs to address another believer with diplomacy, with wisdom, with euphemism and gentleness. Number 4, إذا ابتعدت عن المرآة زالت صورتك. هكذا أخوك المؤمن إذا ابتعدت عنه كتم سرك. When you stand in front of the mirror magnifies everything, you get a full reflection. Just look at the richness of our teachings, how much the Messenger ﷺ teaches us from a mirror. But as soon as you leave the mirror conceals your image. It doesn't whisper anything to the next man. The guy who came before you, that guy was really fat. That guy was like this. No, the mirror says nothing, right? Imam Shafi'i says in another poem of his, I'm just going to run through it because it's too long, but the particular poem of it, وَلَا خَيْرَ فِي وُدٍّ يَخُونُ خَلِيلُهُ وَيُنْكِرُ عَيْشًا قَدْ تَقَادَمَ عَهْدُهُ وَيُظْهِرُ سِرًّا كَانَ بِالْأَمْسِ قَدْ خَفَى سَلَامٌ عَلَى الدُّنْيَا إِذَا لَمْ يَكُنْ فِيهَا صَدِيقٌ صَدُوقٌ صَادِقُ الْوَعْدِ مُنْصِفًا. That if a friend goes and divulges my secrets and betrays my relation, then hang on, I think as much as I need companion, I'm better off without a friend than a friend who can't conceal and preserve my relationship and honor the secrecy that I have confided in him. So a mirror is such that when you move away, it conceals the image. The next person that comes, the mirror doesn't whisper anything. May Allah give us that strength, that if somebody confides in us or we know something, we keep it within us and we don't go and throw it out in social media. You know, somebody said back in the days you kept a diary, as they say, keep a diary and one day it will keep you. But you kept a diary and it was private. And nowadays it's so strange, you throw it out in social media, and if people don't read it, you get offended. In those days, if people read it, that's my diary, that's private, how dare you do it? And now people don't, you don't even re-like, or you don't retweet, or you don't even comment. It's like, what an irony. Just the last 2 things and I wrap up. Actually, there were 10 things, but I'm way over my time here. The 4th thing that the scholars say, إن المرآة من أهم أسباب الزينة بل لا يكاد يتم التزيين إلا بها. One of the greatest things to which you adorn yourself, beautify yourself, is a mirror. When the bride and the groom leave from their respective places, what's the last thing? It's the mirror, right? The mirror gives them that final touch with which they conclude هكذا أخوك المؤمن تتلاقح معه أخلاقهما وأوصافهما. Likewise, a believer is a source of adornment. We've come here, my brother, and you have come here, and together we adorn one another. Together we beautify one another. Together we become a whole, and individually we are halves, and as we unite, we become a whole. So that's the mirror, that through which we develop our beauty, we see our goodness, it reflects our greatness. Just as by virtue of that you physically adorn yourself, by virtue of the mutual interaction you spiritually adorn yourself. And then the scholars say the final thing that I'm going to mention here is إن المرآة لا تطلع إلا على الظاهر فلا سبيل لها إلى الباطن. A mirror only reflects the external. The Prophet ﷺ said, don't be an X-ray to your brother. He said a mirror. He didn't say X-ray, he said a mirror. And a mirror gives the external. فَلَا يَطْعَنُ فِي بَاطِنِهِ. A mirror doesn't microscopically look into you, it just externally looks at you and it trusts the external. It respects the external. It abides by the external. Likewise, we deal with our believers. هَكَذَا أَخُوكَ الْمُؤْمِنِ يُعَامِلُ أَخَاهُ بِظَاهِرِهِ وَلَا يَطْعَنُ فِي بَاطِنِهِ. A believer also, on the apparent, on the external, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu said the doors of revelation have been closed, and we deal with the believers and humans based on the external, and that coincides with the analogy in this hadith that just as a mirror reflects the external, we don't probe, we don't pry, we don't investigate, we respect. There are certain occasions, moments, situations that's separate. But on a general note, we trust people, we honor people, we respect people. We ask Allah to make us amongst those people that become true mirrors, as the Prophet ﷺ has described. The next time you look at a mirror, it's just not mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of us all. But yes, here's the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. It's a message and we reflect it. And may Allah bless you all and may you grow from strength to strength. It was amazing, it was brilliant, it was phenomenal.
Thank you, Shaykh Sulaiman. And I now invite Shaykh Hamza Yusuf for his closing remarks.